Hey, I've got some more tips on winning for you today. So it's Scuba Steve and I. He's getting chased down by somebody with a gun, and I told him to run in here to me. I've got a shotgun surprise. Bam. Well, let that be a lesson to that guy. So I step in this room just in case someone follows. I might be able to get the jump on him as I reload. And sure enough. Ooh, ouch. So, tip here is don't be those two guys. I mean, they just run in and had no plan on attacking us. And I think it's just because they thought they were going to get somebody and get a free kill, who didn't have a gun. So you always have to think about that. It's not always the case. So this is a little bit later. We're decked out. We're near the end of the game. I left that door open so someone would think that no one was hiding in here, and it totally worked out. So I just hid behind that door. I could use the third-person perspective and take him out when he, got in front of the doorway. Anyways, we had to push to the left to try and get into the next circle, and we knew there were guys up on this hill. That's why I keep looking up there. And I saw a guy run into that barn, and I wanted to try and sneak up on it, but I was really worried he was going to have a partner come down the hill and shoot me in the back. I didn't know exactly where he was at, but right there is when I saw him. So I just sprayed in there, stood up, hoping that I wouldn't hit too much of the window ledge, and was able to get that kill. So this is just a little bit later, and this is an important part I wanted to show you. So we're trying to follow the circle, and I saw those guys up on the hill. So what I do is I start using those trees and getting behind it as much as possible, because I didn't know if they saw us or not. But when I went back to that 4X scope and saw that they weren't looking at us, I knew we were safe, but I'm still using the trees just in case. Go from tree to tree. So that's, think of little things like that. It might keep you out of their sight. It might, if they start shooting at you, you might have some kind of cover as you advance. A tip right here is don't aim like I'm aiming. Oh my gosh, I don't think I hit any of them. But they did an interesting thing right here. Watch what they do. They get a perfect flash on both of us. So what I did is I immediately laid down and I started moving to my left and backwards just in case they were rushing us. When I saw that they weren't, I knew we had to keep going because the circle was just on top of us and we had to go. I had no choice but to go. So I've talked about grass snakes. Look at this. The grass snake can't shoot. He should have just crouched and laid there. If I was going to go back and tell myself I could do one thing, I'd have told myself to get a DP28 for this moment right here. So I get that guy, but I just don't have the ammo for the second guy. And I don't know, he did a great job with that vector. Scuba, I've told him there was someone to the left, but it was just too late. I bet you that guy didn't live either because the play zone was on top of all of us. It was just kind of a weird situation where we all kind of got, hamburgered together, smushed together right there. So, we had been looting a while. We came directly to the center, or what we thought was the center of the circle. And I guess this guy had the same idea. Scuba actually gets a kill out the window. I post up right here. So if anyone comes in, I can just take him out with this DP28. So I really like having a close quarters gun that's not a shotgun. The DP28 is awesome. I know I talk about that all the time, but if I didn't have the DP28, I'd have the Tommy gun. So right there, I don't know if you noticed, I didn't even get hit, but I rushed the guy, I backed up, I waited, just paused long enough, hoping that maybe he was reloading, and then I pushed on him again. What I didn't know was the gun he had. It's like that M246, whatever it is, that big saw. I actually went and picked that thing up. I'd never had it before, and it just blew away the DP28. I wish I could have this gun all the time. This would be my gun. Anyway, somebody came in the house and they were pushing us. I thought it was a whole squad, or, you know, it was a couple of guys. So what I ended up wanting to do, I didn't really want to go down there. I knew we were about to have to leave anyways. So I'm just going to crawl out here on this. We thought we'd seen two guys behind that shed. Somehow they got in on us and we weren't quite prepared for them. So I'm just looking and listening, and I want to get as close to this edge as I can to try and look over the edge and see if I can find them. Because I do not want to run towards the next circle with these guys behind us. I mean, that's just no way. I'm not going to do that. I'll stay and kill all of them if I have to and die or take my chances running through the circle. So I'm hoping that they're going to get antsy and try and get out. So I'm just using third person to look. I'm actually hearing the guy. I know he's down there. So that's why I make the move I make right here. And I see the circle coming. We've got to go. So when I see him in the window, he's in trouble. Boom. I love that gun. That is my new favorite gun. I wish I could get it all the time. Alright, so I'd already picked this spot. I picked this a long time ago. I wanted to be on the top of the hill. I'm actually... Okay, so I'm not being a grass snake, because you know how I am. I don't like being a grass snake, but I am using the third person perspective to look over the edge. But I look at Scuba, and he's actually gone a little too far, and I'll tell him to pull back a little bit. Because if the grass hasn't rendered, he'll be a sitting duck. So this was like getting laggy or something. That's why you'll see it pause. I've been having that problem lately. So I'm watching those guys. I actually, if those guys were smart, they would have pushed this hill. I really thought they were going to come. So that's why I hid in the bush here with this big good machine gun. I knew I could probably take out at least two guys if they tried to push this hill. So I picked a new spot and I told Scuba to go take that area by those trees and the shadow. Like right there to the right. Because if he could get there first, and we could hold all of this area, we could hopefully get a drop on everybody. So I was already predetermining how I wanted this to lay out, or this to finish out. So I threw a grenade hoping I would hit him, but check this out. And I'm kind of proud of this, but I don't think it worked. I wish it would have. It would have been super cool. So I get the flash out, and I throw it as the circle's going and they're trying to get away from the circle. I was hoping to distract them enough that the circle could hurt them. I don't think it did, though. It was a good idea, but it didn't really pan out. So anyways, they didn't push the hill, so I'm just kind of watching and waiting, and hopefully I could take out a couple, or at least hurt them. They ran into another group of guys. So I thought, though, those trees right there to the right where this was going to end. So I was contemplating this bush. I thought, no. There's just 3 guys left. We're going to have to get behind these trees. It's the only safe place. I didn't want to be a stupid grass snake. And look at this. I think I'm standing where he probably could have picked me off. Like, I'm standing too far to the left of that tree. I can't believe I didn't die. Alright, so I do a lot of little tactics right here. See if you can figure out which ones I do. I do a lot from my old videos. And I got lucky with that grenade. That almost took me out. If he'd have got it any closer, I'd have been dead. So I'm going to do some things where I'm in and out, but I really thought I had that new machine gun out. I wish I would have. It almost kind of gets me killed, not having it out. So the reason I'm not using the 4X is because I needed to see both sides of that little building at the same time without getting killed. When Scuba goes down, I thought I was going to be dead. I got lucky getting that kill. And right here, I start shooting before I step out, but I ran out of ammo, and I thought I had the big machine gun out. But I started shooting the big machine gun before I stepped out, and I've done that a lot, and it saved me right there. Anyways, hope some of these tips help you guys win too. Take it easy.